Hi everyone, Marielle here. Today I would like to talk about a very sneaky form of narcissist attack, which I think a lot of us might not pay much attention to. And this could be done out of being fortunate enough not have had this experience, or simply, this is done because it's just easier to fault the victims for their own series of misfortune. So the kind of attacks I want to talk about is not exclusively perpetrated by narcissists, but they can also be perpetrated by non-sensitive people, sometimes closest to us, and sometimes by people we hire for all sorts of reasons. I don't believe non-sensitive people are the same as narcissists, but they can still cause a lot of damage in people's lives. And for me, I would like to tell you a story about this sort of abuse. The first time I noticed this type of insensitive behavior was a few years back, and at the time I was trying to get ready to open my small catering business. I was being advised by a person who was affiliated with the Chamber of Commerce in my area in how to put together a business plan together, if I ever would want to obtain a loan. And at some point, this person recommended that I should join his group. He said I'll benefit much more from meeting new and older entrepreneurs and see how they did things, and I will grow from that experience. And I thought about it and I had to decline. But he insisted, even though I explained that my refusal wasn't because I didn't want the experience, but simply because I knew that I would be late no matter what I did, because I had to drop the children at school in the morning, and both kids, because of the difference in age, they were starting at different times, which means that I would be late every day no matter what, and I would lose 20 to 25 minutes of those classes. And being alone as usual, I had no one to leave the kids with, so to help me to attend the evening classes, if because there was an alternative. So I explained that to that person, but he remained insistent and reassured me that he did understand perfectly my situation, and that he empathized with me, and he said that he'll be just fine, he'll be all right, and he'll make it work for me. And he said that he would make himself available to me if I ended up struggling because of my late start. So I eventually signed up. But what was surprising and certainly unexpected was his subsequent behavior response to my tardiness afterwards. It wasn't long before I started to notice that he was less than pleased to see me coming late every morning. And to make matters worse, I want to say this but well, I guess I said it right. So I guess the a-hole did not hesitate to drive his point home by making me the only person in the class at the end of the course who did not get a certificate of completion. I was humiliated to say the least. I worked hard for nothing, and I drove like a maniac every morning, for I think it was 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks, I can't remember, for nothing. And I could have gotten speeding tickets because of him. So why did he do that to me? Why did that happen to me? And in the first weeks after this happened, I blamed myself for my tardiness. I even tried to convince myself that maybe my work was not good enough. That's why I didn't get the certificate of completion. But then I remembered that, firstly, I did warn him how difficult it was going to be for me to be on time. Secondly, I know I was no worse than any other person in the class. So despite my searching, I still could not explain his actions towards me until I figured out later that he was making his living through his affiliation with the Chamber of Commerce. The affiliation basically served as a way to attract people to attend his own private paying classes. Because whenever he was giving advice during session that was covered by the Chamber of Commerce, those classes were free. So instead, he had to attract people or convince people to join his group classes so he could make money. Obviously, I felt used, and I did my best to brush it off, even though it left me very, very unsettled, especially since he was so kind to me at the beginning. The thing is, with everything that has happened to me since then, I can tell you that this kind of behavior looks and feels no different at all from what the wolf has subjected me to throughout the years. One of the particularities of this type of abuse is that those people, they look and they behave so angrily towards you that until you learn about the way those kind of people achieve pleasure and how those kind of people satisfy their need to feel superior or to feel powerful, most regular people end up questioning themselves over and over and over. They end up questioning themselves to the edge of insanity, literally. When in fact, this is a form of sadistic manipulation, where someone intentionally forces you to do something or to get into a bad situation or to make a bad decision only to make it easier for them to take advantage of you, the target, or to laugh at you, the target. This kind of behavior or this kind of scenario reminds me of people who throw acids on their spouses and then tells them every day, reminds them every day how ugly they are. They don't even say how ugly they have become. It's like how ugly they are, never seeming to remember that they are the cause of their spouse's disfigurement. This kind of behavior goes beyond your average opportunist who may act in a predatory manner because of what their job demands or the circumstances of their living or even financial situation and needs. Make sure this did not happen. And